my name is Giselle Rivera and I will be introducing the appendicular skeleton. So I will be pointing out the pectoral girdle, which is made up of the scapula and clavicle. The pectoral girdle is made up of the, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the scapula before I forget the names. So the scapula here, we begin with the very first one, which is the spine of the scapula here. And then this is the supraspinatus fossa. And then down at the bottom, we have the infraspinatus fossa. Then we have the coracoid process, which is around this way. You can see it here coming out through under the clavicle here. You can see it. And then we have the subscapular fossa, which is the inside. This is not the best model, but I think you can get the idea of, it would be the back part of the scapula, which is the inner part. That would be the subscapular fossa. The glenoid cavity would be this here that attaches, this corner here that attaches where the humerus, the head of the humerus attaches here. I'm sorry. Where the forearm attaches here. That's the glenoid cavity. And then the acromion would be the top portion up here of the scapula, this top portion here. And then we have the sternoclavicular joint. So that would be part of the clavicle here. So this would be here, the sternoclavicular joint, and then the acromioclavicular joint. Moving on to the clavicle, we have the acromial end and the sternal end. So the acromial end connects to the sternum, and the sternal end connects to the scapula. Moving on to the arm, which is a humerus here, we have, let me just move my papers here and move my pictures. So we have the top portion of the humerus, which is the head up here. And then I'll use my pen. We have the head up here, and then we have the greater tubercle, which is this one in the back, and then the lesser tubercle in the front. And then we have the deltoid tuberosity, which is here. You can see it. It's like a little dent. And then we have the medial epicondyle. If you look at it this way, you have the medial epicondyle, and then medial is here, and then we have lateral on the other part. The choroid fossa going down to the, I'm just trying to picture it here. So the choroid fossa is here. And then we have the capitulum, which articulates with the anteroventral articular faucet. That I have the capitulum for some reason. I have it on this side here, which is on the, it's called a humeral capitulum. There's also a capitulum for the patella, and I was getting confused with that. Moving on, the trochlea. The trochlea, I think, is found in the opposite side. Then we have the olecranon fossa, which is right in the middle, right here. It's like a dimple. And then the olecranon fossa, what goes in there? So I would probably say the attachment of the ulna is where it attaches, and there's also hyaline cartilage in there for these joints to attach and these bones to be attached to each other. Moving on with the forearm, which is the bottom portion of the arm here. The inner bone is called the ulna, and the outer bone is the radius, which is part of your thumb here. The ulna olecranon is the tip right here, right at the tip of the ulna. And then we have the choroid process, which is the U, like right in the middle. And then the styloid process, which is the tip of the ulna, and that would probably be seen here. For the radius, which is this here, the top would be the head, and then the radial tuberosity would be this little bump right here that you can feel on the bone. And then the styloid process would be this bottom tip that kind of sticks out by the thumb. It kind of goes down to the thumb direction. Next, I will be going over the bones of the hand. It's very hard to be able to see them on here, but going across the very first row, we have the scaphoid, the lunate, the triquetral, and the pisiform. And then on the next row, which is lateral to medial, it would be trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate. And then it's asking which bones form the wrist joint with what forearm bone. That would be the scaphoid, the lunate, and the triquetum. Which bones form with the joint of the pollex? So the pollex is another word for the wrist. So that would be the trapezium being one of the main ones up here. Pointing out the metacarpals, this middle portion here are the metacarpals, and then these last portion of the fingers are the phalanges. Thank you.